Hi guys, a very good afternoon. Maswera say. Welcome to Africa and Television Network. And this afternoon we need to take a look onto this issue being raised by Jairosi. He says, fearing that he was being trapped and that he would be killed if exposed, Christopher Mutsvangwa, the darling of the Chinese and the lover of US as his destination of tourism, aborted the process of removing Mnangagwa, which was planned for this January. This is what he says. And he went on to say that Chris Mutsvangwa thinks he's the one who should take over from Mnangagwa. Monica Mutsvangwa has already been earmarked for some honorary doctorate so that when Chris takes over, she also becomes a Dr. Amai, like everyone else who becomes a first lady. So he says the Chinese and Russians now prefer Mutsvangwa to take over instead of Dandayed, who they now view as weak and a liability. And the Chinese who runs the security system in Zimbabwe are now the ZANU PF kingmakers. They control and own ZANU PF. So let us take a look, Team Zimbabwe. I will give an analysis on this story without fear, favor, or any bias. So, is it possible to remove President Emmerson Mnangagwa right now? It's difficult for anybody. Let me tell you this. It's difficult for anybody without the masses to remove President Mnangagwa right now. Anybody who dares to remove him will face the consequences. Why? The security apparatus in Zimbabwe is difficult to deal with. One, when you talk about change in Zimbabwe, those within the security setup knows who they want, knows who can lead Zimbabwe, who can transform Zimbabwe. They are tired with this issue of ZANU PF after ZANU PF. What it means is any person without the masses who will come to say, okay, I'm removing Mnangagwa, will not win. That person will not win. So if these allegations are true, Chris Mutsvangwa faces two fronts. He faces the front of General Chiwenga. He faces the front of Mnangagwa. Not to mention the major front of President Nelson Chamisa. Which means if he is to face these two fronts within ZANU PF, he will not be able to break through. Why? Chris is not popular within the ranks and files of ZANU PF. His way is because of President Mnangagwa. He survives within ZANU PF because of President Mnangagwa. If he is dropped today, there is nothing he will do. He will not convince any person, even any MP, to stand with him. Everybody will dump him. Even those in the security cycles, they will dump him. No one will ever say, Tirukumirana Chris. It will never happen. Even my protest situation within ZANU PF, nobody will ever protest kuti takatomirana Mutsvangwa right now. It won't. So the only possible successor right now within ZANU PF ranks and files is General Chiwenga, because he has managed to strategically set himself up to take over the leadership of ZANU PF. He has managed to silence everyone else. Look at Wanakembo. Look at everyone. They are submitting to him. When he says something, nobody opposes it. That is a fact. But when it comes to this issue, I believe that Chris Mutsvangwa is a great talker. Yes, he can talk. He's a great propagandist. Yes, he can run his mouth very well. But when it comes to issues of strategy, military strategy, I don't believe that Chris Mutsvangwa can go beyond VP Chiwenga. Yes, VP Chiwenga might look uneducated, might be called names, but when it comes to strategy, he's very strategic. He's a very, very strategic man and a very, very calculative man. He calculates things. He sees things beyond. But what lacks is that proper education. But he's a strategist. Militarily, he's well connected and well strategically positioned and very influential. There is no way he would have become a general for a very long time like that, from the Zimbabwe National Army up to the general, for almost 2 decades, being a top soldier, and he failed to put his people very close. It's impossible. So the problem which happened is that the people who were eliminated were big generals. And according to the people who give these stories, they say these were generals who were close to General Chiwenga, which means every other person, even from the Air Force, from wherever, who is holding very important roles right now in ranks, was probably put there by people around General Chiwenga, his allies, and himself, which means he still have control over all those people. So it's difficult for you to topple him or to deal with him, because these are people who are actually there with the right information which he needs. So it will be difficult for you to actually say you confront Mnangagwa from the other angle and confront VP Chiwenga from the other angle, yet you don't have masses on the ground. You don't have people on the ground. It's a different case when it comes to Nelson Chamisa, because within ZANU PF, there are people who feel that Nelson Chamisa should be leading Zimbabwe. Within the security apparatus, the majority feel that there is need for change, there is need for fresh ideas, fresh blood, etc. Everybody within the government, especially the people who occupy middle and lower ranks, they are agreeing that there is need for us to have robust change. There's need for us to have change in Nelson Chamisa in leadership, which makes it difficult for people like Mutsvangwa to actually think of taking over in Zimbabwe. It can't. Personally, I find it difficult. How? The only possible way to remove President Mnangagwa is through an impeachment. That is the only route ZANU PF can use at this moment in time to impeach President Mnangagwa, using various constitutional provisions which are there, because the constitution has been decimated several times, which means there are several grounds to impeach President Mnangagwa. But who is going to make that move? That is very important. Who is going to make that move? Is that safe to do without the blessings of Nelson Chamisa? Yes, you might say, okay, let us impeach him. But without the blessing of Nelson Chamisa, it won't work. It won't. So a motion will need to be moved by some people within the opposition ranks and files, and it will be supported by some people within ZANU PF. But the major question is, who dare make a move without the blessing of Nelson Chamisa? Because when things go wrong, when he's impeached and is removed, and if he resists, what do you do? So you understand, Kuti, this removes Chris Mutsvangwa from the equation entirely. Yes, there is an option of change in Zimbabwe, but not through Mutsvangwa. I don't believe that Chris Mutsvangwa would have the balls to even confront President Emmerson Mnangagwa. I don't believe he has the balls, and I don't believe that he has the capacity, tenacity, and power to make such a move. This is my own thinking. I don't know what you think. At this moment in time, I find this nothing of interest in this moment in time, because President Mnangagwa can't be removed by people like Mutsvangwa.